Hey everybody, hope that you have been enjoying the ice and the snow. I've seen some of y'all slipping and sliding and your snowmen, so I know you're enjoying it. I hate that we're not together to finish the last two chapters of I Survived the Battle of Gettysburg, but you can listen to the videos that I've already linked on LMS, or you can listen to this one. It's up to you, but I wanted to finish it with you together virtually, and whenever we are back in the classroom in person, we will go over the answers in your packet and we will discuss the ending to the book. So for now, here are the last two chapters of I Survived the Battle of Gettysburg. Chapter 15. Later, there was pain and voices calling to him. Was he dead? No, he was back with Mr. Knox. That must be why his entire body hurt, because he was back on the farm, working dawn to dusk. He could hear Bertie feel her little hand gripping his. But who was that other man calling his name? Thomas! Thomas! Thomas tried to open his eyes, but there was just darkness. He tried to speak, but his voice was like ashes. He wanted to move, but he felt hands holding him down. Or were they chains? Searing pain ripped across his chest. Mr. Knox, please don't whip me. He was a slave again. Or was he dead? 2 days passed before Thomas realized that he was alive and that he was not back at Mr. Knox's farm. He was in a hospital tent, still in Gettysburg. He'd been carried off the battlefield along with thousands of others. His pants had been soaked in blood. His eyes were swollen shut. When the ambulance crew was searching the field for wounded, at first they thought Thomas was dead. But then they heard him shout, "Bertie!" They had put him on a stretcher carefully, wondering how on earth this boy had gotten himself into this battlefield, assuming he was a servant to one of the officers. Most of his blood had spilled into the grass from the enormous gash on his leg. The rebel's bullet had bruised his chest. It would have killed him, ripped right through his heart, except it was stopped by the tin-covered book in his shirt pocket. Mary's book of paintings. That's what saved his life. Not a rifle or a sword. He was saved by a book filled with pretty pictures of a world Thomas had never seen. The doctors stitched him up and left him, caught between life and death, as battles raged all around Gettysburg. They fought for 3 days in all. They battled in meadows and fields, in orchards and woods, on hilltops and in valleys. Streams ran red with blood. 23,000 men were killed or wounded before the rebels finally retreated. The Union troops held their high ground, but Thomas knew none of this. He didn't know that Homer was killed by a shell and that Captain Campbell was brought down as he tried to protect 2 of his men from charging rebel soldiers, and that Henry was hit by a bullet which shattered his leg. Thomas learned all this days later when his head finally cleared, and in that first moment after he opened his eyes, he thought he was dreaming, or in heaven, because there was Bertie smiling at him through tears, and next to her was the man who'd been calling Thomas's name, Clem.